And a warm welcome again to the big match.
Well, wait a moment, it's there, Barcelona! History, hysteria! George Eves! Where's he going? What circle? Chelsea have won the FA Cup yet again.
Good evening. The fifth round of the FA Cup is where Wembley just starts to loom a little bit larger. Andy Townsend and Gareth Southgate are looming large. In fact, they may have their Wembley suits on. Not sure. We will look forward to non-league Luton against Millwall and plenty of other FA Cup action to come in the next hour or so. But we will start with Arsenal against Blackburn at the Emirates. Commentary comes from Peter Drury.
Quite a week for Arsene Wenger. Bayern, but first Blackburn next between him and an overdue trophy. His selection today is clearly compromised by Tuesday, but the return of Thomas Vermaelen is key. Gervinho, back from Africa, plays for the first time since New Year's Day. The bench accommodates several of the go-to stars. Blackburn, who lost here 7-1 in February, have DJ Campbell cup-tied, and they rest Danny Murphy. So there's a debut for Lee Williamson and a recall for Morten Gamst Pedersen. Yesterday's lone arrival, one-time Arsenal prodigy David Bentley, is amongst the subs. Blackburn Rovers seeking a place in the Cup quarter-finals for the first time in 6 years since they beat Arsenal in an FA Cup fifth-round replay. Michael Appleton, who's been in charge of 3 different clubs in the FA Cup this year, he was knocked out in round 1 with Portsmouth. He saw Blackpool to a draw with Fulham in round 3. And his first game in charge of Blackburn was their win at Derby in round 4. This is Martin Olsen from left full-back, who has gone over a rather ungainly challenge from Arsenal's deputy right full-back today, Francis Coquelin, who's filling in so that Sagna needn't be risked with Carl Jenkinson suspended after his dismissal last weekend. Hanley and Dan both forward for Pedersen's wicked delivery, which was finally stabbed wide by Marcus Olsen. Pedersen has been delivering at pace like that for a decade or so in the colours of Blackburn Rovers. And whilst it was an Arsenal head, that of Oxlade-Chamberlain, which helped it on its way, it almost worked out, fortunately for Olsen. That's good from Gervinho, pulled back less good. And out of harm's way by Lowe. Two promising flashes, though, from the returning Ivorian. Now closed down by the hard-working Colin Kazim-Richards. Zitsky's take. Diaby! What a save, Keynes! That is brilliantly athletic. Abu Diaby got plenty on this. It's a thunderous header. And an outstanding reaction. Fast and firm-wristed to repel it and lift it over the bar. Arsene Wenger still has never lost an FA Cup tie to a non-Premier League club. Arteta. Slung wide for Gervinho, who can worry all. Gervinho, Zitsky wanted to let it get through to Giroud. Dan had other ideas. Flung in by Rosicki. Up got Koscielny, and over got Keynes. To pour it out from the top corner. 22-year-old Jake Keynes is rising to this very special occasion. It actually came off Bradley Orr. Things like this are hardly alien to Arsene Wenger. By any standards, it is an extraordinarily one-sided contest, this. Diaby, Rosetsky, Gervinho, onside, and pulls it wide. Had to score. Truly, he had to score. Lovely take, turn and pass from Rosetsky. He was 1.5 yards onside. He was half a yard wide. Couple of goals for his country in Africa over the last month, but he couldn't find the target for his club, Gervinho. Arsenal have had all of the ball, but they haven't scored any more goals than Blackburn, who owe a debt of gratitude to their splendid young goalkeeper Jake Keynes for 2 particularly good saves, one from Diaby, which really was truly excellent. Gervinho should also have scored for Arsenal right at the end of the half, but he didn't, and so the cup tie is still alive. Arsenal 0, Blackburn 0. But if there's one thing Arsenal don't want, it's surely a replay up at Ewood Park in a week and a half's time. This time, last year they went out of the FA Cup at this stage at Sunderland. The year before they did need a replay to see off Leyton Orient. Oh, one back by Olsen. Aimed into Rhodes and just about stolen wide by Vermaelen. Who got a little fortunate here because it could have flown anywhere. It's a really good win by Marcus Olsen. Not a bad ball across goal either. And Rovers, who had to deal with a pile of Arsenal corners at this end in the first half, have the first corner of the second half, their first of the game. And Pedersen takes, and it's back in towards Lowe, away by Arteta, down by Hanley. And finally clear by Coquelin for Rosetsky to try and counter. Well, through the entirety of the first half, Arsenal's goal was pretty well untroubled. Diaby, Gervinho, who sides with Oxlade-Chamberlain now. Gervinho, Giroud. Gervinho, out of harm's way by Orr. Here come the centre-halves again. Rosetsky's delivery. Pedersen got some of it. And Diaby followed it in. And lifted his header over the bar. Pedersen's near-post header here caused more chaos than he would have wanted. But Diaby couldn't, from Arsenal's point of view, make sense of the chaos. Diaby. Gervinho. Coquelin. Giroud. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Lovely if it works. Truth is, there were limbs all over the place. The pure connection was always improbable. Arteta. Rosetsky. Arteta. Rosetsky has bashed the bar. Still no Arsenal breakthrough. Beautifully clean connection, swerving away from an entirely helpless keeper. Half an inch off target. Rosetsky. Gervinho! Still no. And that is some tackle. See how the Blackburn players react to the excellence here of Grant Hanley. There is a corporate determination about Blackburn Rovers now. Within little more than 20 minutes of a splendid outcome here and of a replay at Ewood, still with work to do, but really rolling up their sleeves. Rosetsky's corner. Scraped away by Pedersen. Arteta for Coquelin. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Diaby. Keynes fell on it. Arsene Wenger, the prospect of a replay coming into sharper and sharper focus. 20 minutes left. Well, it was Walcott from off the bench at Brighton. Can they pull off the same trick? Here is Olsen. Beaten up by Szczesny. Kazim Richards in! That's how crazy the cup can be! Blackburn have stolen the lead at Arsenal! And it's Colin Kazim Richards in front of 1,400 mad Lancastrians. It makes not a jot of sense. It matters not a jot. For those Rovers fanatics, Colin Kazim Richards, right man, right place, and a potential FA Cup headline at the Emirates. Minutes after Wenger had thrown on his superstars, Arsenal are penetrated. Arteta. Cazorla. Coquelin. Nicked in for Walcott, who's gone over, but was offside. It's a very, very tight call. Very tight call. Only claiming his innocence. This is hard to digest for Arsenal supporters who haven't lost to a club from below stairs in the Wenger era in the FA Cup. Wilshere. Cazorla. Wilshere. And Walcott into the goalkeeper's arms. Keynes, heroic and loving his moment on the big stage. A young keeper who has grown up for the occasion. Time running out. Wilshere. Coquelin. Diaby. Cazorla. Wilshere in behind. Wilshere across goal. Giroud. And thumped into the side netting by Arteta. Tiny, tiny margins. Behind the goal, there were plenty who thought that Giroud might have scored. There were plenty who thought that Arteta had. Neither saving moment came to pass for Arsenal. They've just about done it. 4-minute stoppage time are up. The whistle is in the referee's mouth. Reborn Rovers, famous Cup Day. Out of relegation and chaos, a day to cherish. And after 16 and a half years as the Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger is beaten in an FA Cup tie by a non-Premier League team for the first time. Colin Kazim Richards is the goal-scoring hero, Jake Keynes the goal-keeping hero, and Blackburn Rovers have written the fifth-round headlines on their way into the FA Cup quarter-finals, having beaten Arsenal here by 1-0.
To come in and get through the tie is one thing, but to come in and obviously keep a clean sheet against that type of attack was magnificent.
It's one of the most important goals I've scored, not the most beautiful, but it's one of the most important. So, and to be fair, their clean sheet that they kept was like 3 or 4 goals. Amazing. So it's a great day today.
Anything you'd like to say about the back four in front of you? Because at times they were pretty heroic too, weren't they?
Yeah, they've been outstanding. They've been outstanding ever since I've come into the team. And without them, then it could have been 4 or 5. So you can forget about the saves I made without the blocks that they made as well.
What have you managed to communicate inside the dressing room?
Well, at the moment, it's too painful for the players, you know. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
And the reaction from the crowd at the final whistle? Quite horrible.
It's normal. you cannot expect your fans to be happy when you lose at home.
And your job in the next 48 hours is a big one, to be ready for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, we will be ready. That's a different game, different focus, and but of course at the moment we will need some time to get behind this disappointment.
Who do you fancy next?
Barnsley or Millwall at home.
There's a man who wants to play at Wembley.
Too right.
What an extraordinary result for Blackburn Rovers. Quite a turnaround under Michael Appleton, and a horrendous result, Andy, for Arsene Wenger and Arsenal.
Well, it is. I mean, we know how long it's been since Arsenal have managed to take a trophy back to the Emirates. It's been far too long. And this was a competition with all the teams that have come out of it so far this year. This was a competition you'd have thought Arsenal would be amongst the favourites to win, and they've let it slip, and it just applies now a lot more pressure with the Champions League coming up against a very capable Bayern team midweek.
First Bradford, and now Blackburn.
Well, that's the thing. You know, they've got themselves in good positions in both competitions and lost to teams that you would never expect them to lose to. Never mind who they've fielded. You know, you can look at the manager and say, should he? But he's got that Bayern game with only a couple of days' rest, so he knows he has to protect some of his better players for that. And the players that played should be good enough to see.
11 internationals.
Absolutely.
And I know he's talked afterwards about 30 shots to 6, and that doesn't really matter in the end. You've lost the game 1-0. The goal, when it came, was well worked.
Yeah, well worked. Slightly fortunate finish. But it's well worked in the sense, big diagonal. They win the header here. Great run from Oldham, who's allowed to travel unmarked. Hits that hard. I wonder, Gareth, I mean, credit the finish, but I wonder whether or not the goalkeeper should be saving that better. Hanging on to it even. Is it so wrong nowadays to ask your goalie, get hold of that, watch it?
What do you think, Gareth?
Well, I think the modern way, with the modern ball, is to palm more out. But clearly, if he's going to palm it out, he's got to palm it away from the goal. He just pats it down straight to Kazim Richards. So,
and I know they're different balls, aren't they, in the FA Cup, so there'll be a little bit of a technical bar about that.
But I think the initial run of Olsen's got to be tracked as well. You know, that's people not doing their jobs, and that is a bit of a recurring theme with Arsenal. That lack of ruthlessness, that attention to detail, defensively, quite often costs them.
Well, and that's a point you could make in the reverse at the other end, because Blackburn did do their jobs defensively.
Well, they'll have known. See, this is the ball on the other foot. Blackburn will have realised, unless they defend properly, thoroughly, everybody doing their jobs, everybody making sure that they don't lose their man, even though they're a great header from Diaby, goalkeeper makes a great stop. I mean, that's a brilliant save, Gareth.
It is. I mean, he's had a little run in the side now with Paul Robinson being left out for whatever reason. Super tackle from Hanley, and I mean, Arsenal didn't hammer on the door. These were, you know, there were a lot of shots, but you never felt until those couple there towards the end.
That was a big chance, wasn't it? Late on for Arteta. Doesn't hit the target.
But that's good signs for Blackburn, Matt, because they've got that look of a team that are getting some results. When you start seeing that defensive work happening, you start to realise you're getting in the right direction.
Bayern Munich must feel like an awfully dark cloud on the immediate horizon now.
Well, it was already, you know, I think Bayern Munich are one of the favourites for the competition, so big ask to beat them. Look, maybe that it will galvanise. Sometimes you can get a reaction from a performance like that, and you can go to the players and demand that bit more, because they owe the manager one now.
And actually, the only thing with Arsenal is you never quite know from one day to the next.
No, you don't. And with the key players not starting the game, you know, we know that they were introduced later on, but with the key players perhaps starting against Bayern, we'll see. Maybe a completely different field, but they're going to have to improve an awful lot if they're going to take something back to Germany to defend.
Perhaps they could have started today. Next, we will see how Oldham, of course, knocked out Liverpool in round 4, would cope with the blue side of Merseyside. Everton, the visitors to Boundary Park today. Welcome back. Now, in the last round, Oldham were 3-2 winners over Liverpool. Paul Dickoff was the manager then, but a week later he had departed and Tony Philliskirk took over as caretaker boss. So could he do to David Moyes' Everton what his predecessor did to Brendan Rodgers and Liverpool? Commentary here at Boundary Park from Andy Townsend. And first, Clive Tilton.
Just 3 weeks have passed since Liverpool lost here
But not only has Paul Dickoff vacated the manager's job, there are 5 changes to the Oldham team that won that 4th round tie. 2-goal Matt Smith has been injured since, but is on the bench today. Jordan Abita, Lee Barnard and Chris Iwelumo have all joined Oldham on loan, and Barnard and Iwelumo have scored for the club already. The Everton lineup is at full strength. Sylvain Distin is over illness, and Nikica Jelavic starts after 3 games on the bench. Kevin Morales and John Heitinga make way. David Moyes is forewarned and forearmed. Osman. Neat footwork from Leon Osman. Just beyond Jelavic. There was a push though before he offloaded, and a free kick therefore to Everton in a very promising position. It's Leighton Baines. It was just clipped on the way through for a corner.
I think he's hit that well, you know.
Lumo got a foot to it. Another Everton corner.
He's put himself right in at the near post. Marouane Fellaini's got Mvoto very close to him.
Jelavic tried to get ahead of everybody and flick it on. I don't think he made contact, and Croft can escape. He's got a beater with him. It's 2 against 2 here. Lee Croft on the ball for Oldham. Going for the shot, a beater! They're at it again! Oldham Athletic, conquerors of Liverpool, are in front against Everton.
Leon Osman goes a little bit too tight to Lee Croft. Now they've got a decision to make. He decides to go on his own. That's a shot. Is it offside? No, I don't think so. It's very, very tight. But it's a good finish, and it's a really good run from Jordan Obito. He's really got to put his foot to the floor and keep going. But it's whether or not there may have been a little nudge on Leon Osman in the build-up to that, possibly. I thought Lee Croft just saw the bounce, read the bounce a little bit better and just spun him.
Jagielka towards Jelavic. Lichby has got there ahead of Mvoto, and Everton are on terms. Mvoto thinks he was fouled, and Lichby didn't hang around to find out. He just smashed it home. His first FA Cup goal.
Decent angled ball in from Jagielka. Good leap, Jelavic just there. No, he's just lent in, he's just muscled Mvoto off the ball there, really. Perfectly acceptable. I don't think that's a foul.
Here's Barnard, unable to turn, hit by Obita, hits the post, comes out to Croft. Oh, he snatched it a little bit. Obita's shot was deflected.
It's a bit like the save you saw from De Gea in Madrid the other night, where it can hardly see that, and it just sort of seems to curl back in towards the post. Takes a deflection. You'll see it better from this angle. There, it's just off Fellaini.
Jelavic. Corner kick. Jagielka under incredible pressure on the edge of the 6-yard box.
It's a great corner. It's hit with such pace from Morales. And Bouzanis is actually trying to clamber across Barnard. He's the wrong side, actually. He can't get there. And again, we see players trying to mark goal side from 3 or 4 yards out. But Barnard is trying to keep Phil Jagielka away from his goalkeeper, as opposed to just going attacking the ball.
Gibson looking for Morales down the centre. And Voto managed to smuggle it away as far as Pienaar. Fellaini, Pienaar has found a shot. And that's a good alert save by Bouzanis, quickly down, unsighted.
Lovely football from Everton. All started with Fellaini, and then once Pienaar drove and really forced his way into that little gap, I just thought for a moment he might find a way through, but good work from the goalkeeper.
And their belief is still strong. Well, here comes Matt Smith. And flick on by Barnard, and here goes Simpson. He's turned it back to Matt Smith. Smith shot. Oh, it's a really good save by Tim Howard. Just managed to divert it round the post.
Great start from Tim Howard.
Gibson. Slid in towards Jelavic. Nikita Jelavic! Well, he was under pressure and it was running away from him.
He's made some good runs second half, Jelavic, particularly in this channel. Drifted out into this left-hand side. That's a better take.
Headed forward by Furman, down by Simpson. Here's Barnard. Oh, it's deflected! And deflected wide. Corner kick.
Good block again. I think it's Phil Jagielka once more. Just comes out, throws himself in front of it. Important block.
Tarkowski. Oh, here's Simpson. He's through here and onside. Oh, it's another fabulous save. Simpson! Side netting.
Hey, what a great ball from Tarkowski. Terrific ball from the centre-half, who saw the run from Simpson, did everything right.
Jonathan Grounds. It's Croft. It's a corner.
Tremendous effort from Oldham. Really has been. Kept going, kept going.
The goalkeeper's in there. Last of the added minutes. This is it. Corners towards Bouzanis, but it's the other goalkeeper who manages to get to it. It's another corner. There's bound to be plenty going on there. Pulse is racing.
Yeah, difficult one for Phil down here. He's trying to keep his eyes and his wits about him. He's got to stand far enough away from it so as he can see everything, but obviously very difficult to see what's happening up close.
In towards Smith! It's Matt Smith again! And Oldham Athletic are still in the FA Cup!
You know, I watched Tim Howard. Look, he's right on the line. He's pushing and shoving, and he's clearly been affected. As soon as that ball went in the back, and then watch the goalkeeper there. I think it's Lee Croft just trying to stand in front of him. I mean, everybody is flying in. Bouzanis has got his arms up in the air, but Smith is up there bigger than everybody else and just manages to force it over the line.
It's the last action of another gripping night at Boundary Park. Another night that belongs to 6 feet 6 inch Matt Smith. He's done it from the substitutes bench this evening. It's finished 2-2.
Pay full credit to the team today. It was an unbelievable team performance. You know, from goalkeeper right through to all the subs that we used. It was a fantastic performance against Premier League opposition. You can't ask for much more than what we gave out there.
I'm sure the board of directors and the chairman will be tired more than anything financially. Listen, we know where we are, the club, and the cup run this year has been instrumental in you know, financially putting the club in a much better position, and then that result there again today means a replay at Goodison Park, and I think financially it'll be a great little fill-up for the club again. But I think the way we played, the way we ended the game, were very positive.
Should you've seen the game out?
I think we should have, but credit to Oldham. You know, they've done it to Forest, they've done it to Liverpool, and you know, they've been very nearly came close to doing it to us tonight as well.
And I'm actually looking at Matt Smith, and I said, I'm going to block your runner here. I'm going to block your runner, and then I'll try and get in front of you. So I blocked his runner, ball came in. I've tried to get my hand to it to get anything into the net, and luckily Matt Smith was behind me to score another great goal.
Well, I don't know what the rule is of the goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper come up and jump with his 2 arms up in the air. I don't know what that. No, he doesn't get it. He doesn't touch it. So I don't know what the rule is if you can jump with your arms up in the air. But I thought there was a foul in the first corner kick that came in.
The goalkeeper was a distraction.
No, I wouldn't say he was a big distraction, but I think in the first one, I think he fouls our goalkeeper, he punches it and then he follows through on him. So because of that, but hey, old-fashioned, get the ball in the mixer and see what happens, and we didn't deal with it well enough.
Well, David Moyes clearly unhappy with what led to the late equaliser, and we'll get to that, but credit where it's due. Whatever they're feeding the players here at Oldham, it's working.
It certainly is. A terrific finish. The last 15 minutes you felt it might build, Gareth, didn't you? You know, as soon as Matt Smith entered the fray, it signalled to the rest of the team, put it in there, get people around it, let's make life very uncomfortable for Everton, and that's exactly how it ended up.
Yeah, they worked hard enough, even if they didn't always play beautifully enough, to get something from the game.
Yeah, and as Andy said, both Smith and Simpson, when they came on, had good chances. Tim Howard made a couple of very important saves. You thought, well, that will just be their one chance has gone. But then the mayhem that was caused from the corners at the end.
Let's have a look at whether David Moyes has got a point, not just for the goal, but perhaps the corner that precedes it.
Well, if you watch Dean Bouzanis coming in here, he's got his fists flying. Now, that there, I think, is a foul. Once a goalkeeper goes up the other end, he becomes an outfield player. If you saw an outfield player throwing his arm like that, that would be a foul. This is the goal, Gareth. Matt Smith totally unopposed, really, all the way to the 6-yard box.
Remarkable. It was interesting. David Moyes put Duffy on to go and deal with Smith because Smith had won everything from open play. And, of course, you just see him get above Duffy. He's got his hands on him, but it's because he gets up early and leaps so well. I mean, his jump, incredible jump, really.
Yes.
And look, they deserved it from that pressure. I think if I was David Moyes, I'd be, annoyed because I think there are little pushes on the goalkeeper, but it was just enough to distract him, Howard, and he just lost his concentration a little bit.
I also think there, Matt, Fellaini and Distan, one of them should have walked over and grabbed hold of Matt Smith and said, I'll sort this one out, and let Shane Duffy pick somebody else up. You know, we saw Fellaini with Simpson, we saw Distan at the back post. He's their main man, Matt Smith. As soon as that ball's coming in, where is he? And send your biggest man to go out and deal with it.
And actually, from not just Celtic, but all in recent times, the whole chat about the art of defending from set pieces, for crosses, where the defenders are ignoring the ball at their own peril at times.
Well, look, all the teams I played for, and it's not that long ago, by the way, all the teams I played for, your goalkeeper wanted the room to come and punch it, come and grab it, and give him the room. So, you know, you mark in front of people, or you mark outside shoulder in the 6-yard box, and I'm seeing so much lately of these guys wanting to get between goalkeeper and opponent and not dealing with the fundamental reason why you're back there. Go and edit. Go and put your head on the ball to get rid of it. And I think defenders at the moment are getting so wrapped up in all this, Gareth. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, well, you've got to be able to see both things, and a lot of them aren't seeing the ball arrive.
No.
You know, they've got their back to the play. Well, that can't be good defending.
No. And a couple of league games between now and the replay at Goodison, we don't know, obviously, what the situation with Oldham will be. It was Paul Dickoff a couple of weeks ago. At the moment, it's Tony Phillips-Kirk. Who knows who'll be in charge by the time the replay comes around?
No, I mean, it might be Tony still. You get the impression Tony's done a very good job with the academy and wants to stay working with the academy. I mean, it's a great day for him today.
Yeah, he's earned the right.
Yeah, he has. And I'm sure the chairman, if it saves him paying another wage for a couple of weeks, might keep it going. But, I mean, it's a big financial achievement for Oldham as well. You know, that's a huge lift to their resources.
No, absolutely. The replay was probably better news than the win. Coming up, a game with a bit of bite. Non-league, Luton welcomed the Lions of Millwall to their own den at Kenilworth Road. Now, conference side Luton Town have arguably produced the performances of the last 2 rounds in the Cup, beating Wolves at home and then, of course, Norwich away in the last round. So, how would they get on against Millwall, themselves conquerors of Aston Villa, in round 4? Commentary at Kenilworth Road from Craig Burley and John Chappell.
Luton have fallen so far, so fast. Merely makes it an occasion for the locals to relish all the more. Well, the Luton lineup today shows 2 changes to the side that made history at Norwich. On that occasion, substitutes O'Donnell and Rendell created and scored the winning goal. Both start today. Millwall knocked out Aston Villa in the last round. Since then, veteran striker Rob Hulse has been brought in on loan from Queen's Park Rangers to bring some nous and experience. However, overnight they've lost skipper Danny Shitu to an ankle problem. Goalkeeper David Ford, currently Ireland's #1, played on loan for Luton 6 years ago when they were still in League One. Here's Andre Gray.
He certainly has looked very sharp early on, getting away from Osborne there far too easily. He might have pulled it back to Rendell, who certainly did ask the question of Gray, but he does look a man on form.
Howells. Kovac, he was a little slow, and Henry's in. Henry scores. And the Hungarian defender hangs his head. Kovac outwitted. And Millwall in front.
Well, that's a couple of times really they've got themselves in a bit of a pickle. I think Henry backheads it and he's flat-footed. And it's quite a simple finish in the end. It comes off his thigh, and why he's pointing behind him, I don't know. You've just got to go and clear that. Big centre-half, big up and downer. Don't try and control it. It's awful control and a simple finish.
Relieved to hear the whistle.
I think from Luton's point of view now, they've got a bloody nose. Could have been worse for them. They've just got to regain their composure.
Ronnie Henry. There's Mendy, and Kovac had a chance, and the ball was whipped off his toe by Dunn.
Well done with Sharp, wasn't he, in the end? And it's just about getting onto the second ball, which they did here with Mendy. It's straight at Ford, but in all credit to him, it's a good save.
Abdu, it's Feeney. Henry. Up goes Hulse. And Hulse again! Hulse scoring from a pretty improbable angle. A really adroit finish by the veteran striker. It's his first goal for Millwall.
That's good work again from the scorer of the first goal, Henry, coming off the left side, making that diagonal run, and really stands a very good ball up to the back post. And we talked about Hulse. I think Paul Buckle's obviously not stopped talking about him on the bench because of his physical presence. He's caused them a problem from the first minute of the game. And okay, he's not trying to head it there, but you've got to say it's a brilliant finish. I mean, it really is. I expected him to get on and bullet that in after getting on top of Taylor, but it's a super pick out, and it's a mountain now for Luton.
Alan Dunn will have enjoyed his return to first team action for the first time in 4 months. He's looking for Keogh. It's a really smart save by Tyler, who then has to go again. Enduring excellence of a goalkeeper who at 35 is playing his 42nd FA Cup tie today. Ingessen. Dunn. Henry. Easy as you like, or at least it should have been, for Andy Keogh.
Well, absolutely should have been game, set and match here. Again, that back post is a problem for him. Again, it's Kovac is off the back of. The full-back's not quite around and in tune either.
Trotter. James Henry. Trotter. Marquis and Getton, 3, and easy enough for Millwall. A first quarter-final in 9 years beckons for Kenny Jackett's men. And it's the end of Luton Town's wonderful story in the FA Cup this season.
Yeah, keeper Tyler makes a really good save, and credit and guessing he's following in. It's like there's bodies everywhere outside the penalty area, but as soon as that pops off the goalkeeper there's always a huge danger. Not a great challenge from Howells, just inside the box. He's got to be a bit stronger than that. You've got to take a chance. Keeper, second time around, couldn't stop it going in the back of the net. And the run is over, John. Well and truly over.
A win is a win. Very pleased to be through into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So it's a big achievement by the players, and we want to continue now.
We never gave ourselves a chance to put them under pressure, and what I mean by that was the early goal. It's a poor error, by us, and we had a lot of chances in the game. There was a lot of openings in the 90 minutes for us, probably more than we've had in the last 2 against Wolves and Norwich. So to concede early was a real cardinal sin, and that was something that we really didn't need to do.
So the fairy tale, I'm afraid, comes to an end for Luton Town, and actually from start to finish today, I think Millwall looked the better team.
Again, I think that for Luton, you know, they'd probably needed to score first and to really feel like they had a bit of hope and a bit of genuine belief. That didn't happen once Millwall got themselves in front. And it's a sloppy goal, the first one, the way that it was conceded. I think that always disappoints you, Gareth, doesn't it, in these sort of games when your centre halves make that sort of decision.
Well, unfortunately, that's why he's playing at the level he is, isn't he? But
Kovac,
in a game of this nature, you would hope that the side from the higher league would have to work a bit harder for their goal and create something clever. He does.
James Henry is who
finishes
pounces,
James Henry.
Yeah, he does well.
And then there's certainly a bit of class in the end about the 2-0, which probably puts the tie beyond Luton. Rob Hulse, who was a pest in the build-up, and then produces that.
Yeah, and he's an experienced centre forward, Rob Hulse. I mean, on loan from QPR, and I think very on the quiet. We hear so much about Millwall for the wrong reasons, but Kenny Jackett's done a really good job at Millwall over the last couple of years. You know, he's brought good signings in on loan, and got them up the division, and they're very competitive in that Championship now. He's very underrated, I think.
Yeah, and having, of course, knocked Villa out in the previous round, they'll presumably now be hoping for a bumper tie, if they can find any big Premier League clubs left in this competition.
It's incredible how all the big guns have fallen by the wayside. So Millwall have a great chance. Obviously, they've been to the cup final in
2004.
Reasonably recent history. So they'll fancy if the draw goes their way, they can get to the semi.
Football is sometimes accused of a lack of sense of humour, but we thought a funny moment at the end here where, naturally, in the circumstances of this game, the police with their animals are on, and Alan Dunn pushes the goal scorer, James Henry, towards the snapping jaws of a big Alsatian.
See, the policeman's let the dog get the wrong side of him there.
He has.
He's just allowed him to step across, and he's very nearly caught him there.
I think James saw the funny side of it. He seems quite amused. That's teammates for you, eh, Gareth?
Good, very good. That was good.
Look, he didn't have one of them suits on. He might have gone for you. One more game to bring you tonight. We will be at Stadium MK. And how about footballers and their jewellery? Marlon Harewood's big ring eventually came off. The best of that game. Barnsley MK next. Welcome back. Now, the MK Dons have never reached the 5th round of the FA Cup. The League One side faced in-form Championship outfit Barnsley at Stadium MK today, themselves on an excellent run. They'd won 7 on the spin. Could they make it 8? Joe Spate saw this one.
8 of this MK Dons team started the win at QPR a few weekends ago. Since then, they picked up just 1 point from 4 league games. Barnsley's side contains a former cup finalist in the shape of the ex-West Ham striker Marlon Harewood. Another waits on the bench, the unknown Stoke defender Rory Delap. The best kick there by David Martin. Menes couldn't profit though, but here's Perkins for Barnsley. Now Scott Golborn, Harewood. Turned on towards Dagnall, who's in behind here. Dagnall! What a start for Barnsley! In front, inside 3 minutes. Turned over the top, the MK Dons defence all at sea. But it's a fine left foot finish beyond David Martin. It's his 7th goal this season. And it's the MK Dons 0, Barnsley 1 in next to no time. Tuhu. Menes. Here's Wiseman. In behind the MK Dons again. Harewood! It's 2-0! It is so easy for Barnsley. And the Championship team are flying. Marlon Harewood, who reached the final with West Ham 7 years ago, has doubled Barnsley's lead here. Well, Scott Wiseman up for the right wing-back position, got in behind Lewington, showed great composure, and so did Marlon Harewood. It's only his 3rd goal this season, his 1st in the FA Cup since a semi-final winner in his time with West Ham back in 2006. But Barnsley good value for their 2-0 lead. They've been well and truly on top, and they have a comfortable cushion now. Williams with a header. Here's Bodic, and he might be in here. It's Dean Bodic. It's a big chance, and it's game on again. The MK Dons top scorer, Dean Bodic, and look what it means to Carl Robinson. His team are right back in the tie, and this time it was Barnsley's backline which opened up. Bodic with the touch there. He was clean through, he showed great composure, and he scored his 3rd goal in this FA Cup run for the MK Dons. It was all his own doing. His 10th goal overall this season. And with half an hour to go, this tie is back in the balance. Here's Dagnall. Lovely turn there by Perkins. He's done really well here, Perkins. Oh, it went all the way across, and it was so near the own goal from Lewington. It was an agonising stretch, and Barnsley so nearly had their 2-goal advantage once again. Here's Chickson. It's good strength by him. His determination wins a corner. Becoming more maced up now. Dangerous ball in towards Williams. Here's Potter. They're queuing up again. Great save there by Steele. It was Smith who met it. And Luke Steele with some heroics in the Barnsley goal. Preserving their slender advantage with some fine reflexes. That is top goalkeeping. Here's Perkins, it's Dagnall, he's onside. Dagnall this time, surely! That will clinch it for Barnsley. The Tykes are heading for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Chris Dagnall with his 2nd. Joy for David Flitcroft. And that should be game over. It's been coming on the break, he was just about onside. Played in by Perkins, he went around the goalkeeper and steered home his 2nd and Barnsley's 3rd. Talat with a good jump. Oh, and Smith came in, it's a red card. Alan Smith has been sent off. Mike Jones went straight to his pocket. And in stoppage time, Smith is dismissed. He's a player who has seen the red mist many times over his career. And he's done so here for the MK Dons today. And in stoppage time, might that be the end of the League One team's hopes.
I wanted to win it today for my family, my 2 boys, Billy and Bob. They love the FA Cup, they love football, and I can go home and tell them we're in the next round and get excited again tomorrow. But it's just a special cup, you know. I've been quite an underdog all my life, and it's nice that underdogs sometimes can prosper and get rewarded in this competition. And the Bradford exploits of it have really inspired us as a team. We've watched them over and over again on videos and how they've been able to celebrate their day at Wembley, and that's what I'm trying to do for this group of players.
An excellent win for Barnsley, which takes them into the last 8. I have to report there was an incident during the game, an altercation between Marlon Howard and a supporter. Howard had been substituted at that point and clearly took exception to something that was said from the stands. The police did intervene and interviewed the spectator involved, but there's been no charge and no suggestion, I should add, that the comments were of a racial nature. Now then, fellas, excellent performance, an excellent run now David Flitcroft's putting together.
He certainly is. Barnsley are going well, Matt. They're having a really poor time of it at the start of the season. He's come in, he's made a difference. Players have responded. That's why clubs make changes with managers. That's what they were looking for, and it's happened. And it was never an easy tie for them today at MK. You know, MK are good football inside. They can be a difficult team to beat, but Barnsley, I think, always had too much for them.
They're clearly sharp up front. Both Howard and Chris Dagnall have got 2 today.
No, definitely. I mean, good finishes. They looked a handful all day. I thought some of Milton Keynes' defending was poor, really. Kept letting runners go and trying to play offside and just stay with your men, and you know, at least two of the goals, probably all three, wouldn't have occurred. And the last one in the last minute, good finish, Andy, but again,
great finish. Same thing again though. Look at that line of defenders. They're trying to hold a line, but they're not really sure. Why don't you just sprint back, stay with your runner, and try and see the danger out that way? You know, defenders, they get so wrapped up in trying to hold this line, and it's a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
He might have been marginally off, but that's the risk you take if you want to hold a high line. And credit, again, Chris Dagnall. Lovely first touch past the goalkeeper and a very confident slot.
Now, as it stands, no Premier League team actually guaranteed a quarter-final spot. So, with that in mind and the way the competition's gone, how do you see the other ties this weekend? United, City, Chelsea? That's a fourth-round tie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you expect Chelsea to be too strong at home with Brentford. And you expect City to be at home with Leeds to have too much. But, you know, a couple of years ago we saw Leeds go to Manchester United and win. And the way this competition keeps delivering, it's, you know, we've seen here today, it's just been fantastic.
We might have a big shock tomorrow. We might have 3 Premier League teams winning for a change.
That would be a surprise.
That would be quite nice.
That will be a surprise. We're out of time tonight. Thank you very much, Andy and Gareth, as always. Before we go then, this is how we look for the rest of our FA Cup coverage this weekend. Chelsea-Brentford from 11:30. Remember, that's a fourth-round replay at Stamford Bridge. And the fifth-round tie is Huddersfield against Wigan. That from 3:30. And the quarter-final draw does follow that game. All of that on ITV and, of course, as always, in HD. So congratulations to the lower league teams, not just today, but all through the competition, but particularly today to Barnsley, of course, to Millwall, to Blackburn, perhaps above all, and Oldham here at Boundary Park, who, having beaten Liverpool, have found a way to stay involved against the blue half of Merseyside. Night from us.